What is up, YouTube? McIntyre here. Today I wanted to bring you guys a new up-to-date tier list. This is for Lucio patch. The date is 2/21/2017. So what has changed in the game? Well, we have introduced Lucio to the support role. We have buffed Murky, which is the first thing that I'm going to change. And we've also touched up on a few other heroes, Greymane, Tassadar, things like that. So we need to move some things around. It's been a while since I've actually updated this list. So yeah, we need to move some things around and fix some things up. So the first thing that we'll do is we'll move the Murky to tier 1. And we will bring Sylvanas down to tier 2. Murky got a buff to basically his whole kit, honestly. His early game, his mid game, and his late game all got buffed. Rejuve Bubble at 13 is a huge change and buff to him. His slime in the early game is much stronger. He has bribe stacks after killing things with his puffer. And his late game is just absolutely insane. So I don't want to say that Murky's tier S yet. He's just tier a pain in my rear. Like, the hero, I don't know if he's just overpowered, but he's just so annoying to play against. Much like Medivh, honestly. Both heroes are just so annoying to play against that for that reason they're a high tier. And if you can get good at them, then you can abuse the other team's feelings and emotions and make the other team hate themselves. And we always want to do that in Hero League. So, yep, for that reason I want to bring Murky up to the top. Our tier S's are still all the same. I still think these three heroes are just always pickables. You really can't go wrong taking them. Yeah, they're always going to be good. And I really don't have any complaints about any of them. Looking at our warriors, I would say Artanis is going to slowly fall down a little. The reason for Artanis slowing down is that people are starting to learn how to play against him. He's still a dominant force in the solo lane, but sometimes feels like his late game is a little wonky. And, it's not always about the solo lane. With that said, though, I mean, he still can get a swap in the late game and win. So he's still powerful there. But I don't think he's where he was at. ETC is still the next head honcho for me. Mosh Pit, Stage Dive. Diablo is incredible in Hero League. Most people are just really bad against him. And you can find picks with APOC combo. Muradin, I've just always felt like he's just really good. I don't know, going Skullcracker with the Battle Momentum build is just always strong for me. We have Sonya. Sonya's, I want to say she's probably not here yet. She was an experimental one for me. I'd probably say she's somewhere in the tier 2 area. Yeah, she was an experimental one for me. And I had placed her very high on my list, but I wasn't really sure how good she was going to be. So I feel better about that right there. I need to fix some things up now. Yeah, I thought maybe with the whirlwind changes she'd been pushed to tier 1, but I was wrong in that evaluation. She's still much stronger than she was, but I don't think she's this incredible pick. Looking at the tier 1 ranged, I'm still pretty confident on all of these range picks. I don't really think anything's changed as far as range damage goes. Tychus is still a beast. He always can shred front line. Li Ming, great follow-up, great poke. Vala, just a hyper carry. They're all dominant in the solo. Gul'dan, great wave clear. Falstad, global. All of these just bring something different to the table, right? You really can't go wrong with any of the picks. It all just depends on comp. Specialist, Medivh, Murky, again, they're just both annoying. And being annoying makes them tier 1. Looking at our tier 1 supports, I would change Brightwing off of this, I believe. I like Rhaegar Monk. And I think I put Lucio in there now instead. And bring Brightwing down to tier 2. I would say I'd even bring her behind the TAS. Yeah, this looks good to me. So, Lucio, I want to say he's tier 1 even in HL because a lot of the time, fights are decided very quickly. And the fact that you get Storm Shield at level 10, sometimes just hitting that shield and speeding up your teammates can win you a team fight. You also have the ability to find picks and get people out of trouble. It's much like Monk in the sense that there's supports that do more than just support. And I think that's where tiers come in for supports for me, is if you're a support that can do more than just heal. With Medic and Ariel, at times it feels like all you're doing is healing, and even Brightwing at sometimes. And you're not creating damage or opportunity for your team, right? Whereas Monk and Lucio feel like sometimes they can create opportunity as supports. So for me, that's what brings them to the top. Tier 2s help towards victory, strong picks. So these are just all your good niche, even more than niche, because your niche are your tier 3s. These are just good picks. I mean, when tier 1s are taken, we always fall onto tier 2s, right? And you see this all the time. I'd say one that just blatantly jumps out at me is the Zul'jin. I honestly think Zul'jin is tier 3 ranged. Probably somewhere in there. And I would put Greymane up. Greymane's probably right behind the Chromie. And I would move Zeratul even to tier 1 now again. We've started to shift off of heavy front lines. You don't see triple tank as much with the Varian bans coming out. Zeratul's gotten a lot better too. We're seeing a lot more range comps, a lot more double range. Zeratul just punishes Hero League rotations still. If he's not tier 1, I would definitely, I'm not going to put him tier 1 because you have to be really good with him. But he's definitely a strong tier 2. If played correctly, tier 1. Same goes for Chromie, really strong tier 2, potentially tier 1 if you play her correctly. I would say all these tier 2 picks are that way. The only one that is maybe uncertain is Kel'Thas. I'll move him down. The reason that I had him there was because of his stun. But I honestly don't think that his stun is enough. And another that I will actually move up is Tracer. So Tracer is a really good assassinator. She actually just can one-shot someone quickly on the other team if the other team's comp doesn't deal with her. So, although she doesn't have a lot of sustain and, you're not always going to get task Tracer comps, if you play Tracer correctly, you really just can go in at full health, blink to the person you want to try to kill, bomb them, melee them, and E, right? And you would normally do this after your team's poked a person. So you're kind of just like a different Zeratul in a sense, right? You just want to get a pick on someone and then get out. Just like Zeratul does, even Valera. So I think she falls under this category where she can get in, eliminate someone, and get out. And I like that. Tier 2, Nazeebo, Specialist. Yeah, Nazeebo still does a buku's load of damage. So if you land your spiders, if you land all your stuff, he's just destroys in damage, especially once you get 20. Zombie Wall is really good if you follow up on a stun. He's got Ice Block, he's got Spell Shield at 13. Both are really good. Like jacked up Spell Shield, permanent Spell Shield. So Nazeebo is really good. And he might even be tier 1, but he's very close, if not just tier 2. Sylvanas, really good on push boss maps, right? This has been forever a thing. And I like using Mind Control in Hero League, honestly. You guys saw me use Mind Control in Tournament, but I actually like using it in Hero League whenever I play Sylvanas. A lot of the times, like, people will be out by themselves, and you can just Mind Control them into your team. And then in team fights, yes, Cleanse is a thing, but if let's say your variant stuns their front line, and then you see Cleanse, if you start channeling Mind Control, when Cleanse drops, Mind Control will be up. So you just pull them right in. Just gotta kind of get a little bit of practice with it. Or you can just go to standard silence. Zul, AFK hero, really good. I honestly would change Hammer to probably a tier 2 position. somewhere in between. I would honestly put her like here. But she's more of like a ranged assassin, so it's really hard to place her. But yeah, I think Hammer's really good right now. Like, Hammer deals a lot with global. It deals a lot with a lot of these, like, kind of wombos that people are trying to do. I really like Hammer. She trades really well with a lot of the front lines. Like, these guys right here, these guys all struggle against Hammer. This guy, maybe not so much. But, you know, you can W both of these guys off of you. If the other team doesn't have Artanis, that is, she becomes even stronger, right? So, yeah, I really like Hammer. And we talked about the supports now. Zul just, I was going to say Zul just AFK pushes. That's what he does. He's really good at getting XP leads. Tass, our first support. Archon, he might be tier 1, honestly, but I don't suggest taking him early. The problem with Tass for me in Hero League is you're trying to protect someone else to carry you. And a lot of the times you want to carry yourself, and Tass can't do that. Because what Tass will do for your team, in the end, will have you be double support, like Tass plus support. So you'll lack damage a lot of the times. So for that reason, I don't really like that. Brightwing, we moved her down. Still got a global. Medic, really good if you have the right comp. Ariel, sometimes scary, but really aggressive. She's a really aggressive support because of her whip and stuff. But you have to have a generator, and you have to know your generator and hope that, you know, okay, yeah, I know this player. He's gonna carry me, right? Tier 3. These are strong. If we played right, these are one-trick heroes, basically. We have Leoric, Stitches, both good warriors, but why pick them when you have so many other good ones to choose from? I'm pretty sure I skipped Tier 2 warriors. I'm pretty sure I did. I'll go back. I'm going to bounce back to Tier 2 warriors now. Sorry, guys. Yeah, Dahaka global on his tongue, and then we'll go to Tier 3 after. So we have global with the tongue. We have great wave clear. We can just push waves AFK until someone comes to us, and then we can Z down. Zarya, good at sieging, good at protecting, really good with Varian, Rag even. Needs an aggressive frontline hero to shield, to generate energy, but if you have one, she's really strong. Joanna, wave clear. I would actually say she might even be weaker. Same with Chin. I actually want to bring Chin down. He's a great solo laner, but he's kind of awkward in this meta, as we're kind of in a CC meta, so I think the same goes for Rexar. I'd bring him down too. Something a lot of people are going to like that I'm about to do is I'm actually going to bring a noob up to probably where Joanna's at. I honestly think a noob's not bad right now. He dominates against all mages, and for that reason, I actually think he's a lot better than most people think. We'll move Stitches. We'll move Stitches down. I just don't see a reason to take Stitches at the moment. And yeah, I want to say this looks about good. This looks about right for tanks. Sonya, I mean, she's still really aggressive. She might even be tier 3 even after the changes. Probably right there. I had her at tier 1, but just still doesn't do very well against a lot of the stuff that's going on. You know, mass CC, right? She wants to spin. Yeah, so I'd say she's probably tier 3. We have Tyrael. He's just really good hero. He's a second support hero that does damage, so he can engage. His Sanctification can win games. You can get solo kills as him. He's a fairly strong solo laner. His speed up and slow down is really good. He's just a good hero if you're good at him. And then Arthas is our melee counter. Essentially, heavy melee stacks Arthas does really well against. He can also get a lot of easy picks with his root ability. So yeah, we'll go to the tier 3s now. Joanna, I have her down here. I just don't know, like, I feel like I should take every other tank but Joanna, unless you really, really, really need wave clear. That's kind of how I feel about her. She has her place, and against certain comps, she's good, but I'd want to be more proactive in Hero League, and Joanna is a lot of just, basically, she does a lot of Zul work where you just go bounce between waves, right? Which is good on sun maps, like Tomb and Dragonshire, but on other maps, she's not very proactive, right? We'd rather be proactive with a pick like Muradin or Diablo, where we're trying to find a pick rather than Joanna, where a lot of times we're just hitting W and then maybe we throw a shield every once in a while. I don't think she's bad. I really don't. I think she's one of the better tanks, but just for Hero League's sake, I think she's tier 3. We have Rexar, Leoric, Chin. Chin just a good solo laner. Rexar, good solo laner. Leo, pretty good solo laner too. Nothing really, these guys can be good in certain places, but you don't want to just take them every game. Alarak, still same sort of thing. Good solo laner, but he has no percentage. He does terrible against a lot of the good tanks. Just really a target to get killed rather than a target to do killing. The same goes for Kerrigan. She just can't step up into these front lines without getting punished. So Zul'jin, he's good if you have the right comp for him, but he needs to auto attack, and a lot of the time fights are done so quickly that he doesn't have time. The same goes kind of for Raynor and Lunara. They're all slow damage, and we like fast damage, right? We like getting kills immediately. Kael'thas is good but unsafe. I just don't want people running around playing Kael'thas, honestly. He's good, I don't know if he's tier 2 good, though. He's just so slow, and if you miss your skill shots, then that's it. He's so cooldown dependent. I think that's a big thing for me. He's so cooldown dependent, and a lot of the time, your cooldowns aren't going to get the value that you want. The same goes for something like Nova or even Illidan. These are two heroes that, Illidan's slow damage. I've had so many games where even I play Illidan, and I end up with like 13k damage, and the game was 20 minutes long. Because with Illidan, you're always trying to find your spot on the enemy team, and you can't really dive in without just instantly dying. You're not going to get a protected Illidan comp. You see Illidan's in Hero League most of the time take Hunt for that reason, because they're just trying to find picks rather than play Illidan, So for that reason, I'd rather just play any other melee assassin above than play Illidan. And same goes for Nova. I mean, she's good if you play her correctly, but there's so many other mages that do as much burst as her at safer ranges or just more aggressive and better at 1v1s. So we have our specialists. This is just, again, the one-trick tier. I'm not going to talk much about this. These are all just one-trick heroes. If you're good at them, keep playing them. No one hates you. Uther, support, I would say he's tier 3. He D-shield sometimes good. Stun sometimes good. D-storm sometimes good. You guys feel me? And then our tier 4 is Stitches. Slow damage, fat body. Hooks are good, but that's it. No CC. No CC, I think, is the biggest thing. Butcher, Variant, Samurai. A lot of people are like, Butcher is really good, McIntyre, but I think at the higher levels, he just gets obliterated. Like, maybe I could, say, like, oh, Butcher is better than Alarak just because of the, brain deadness of it. So we'll do that. We'll just do that, right? Because Butcher is easy to play. We'll move him up and we'll move Alarak down because Alarak's harder to play and just really doesn't have a place in the meta. Same with the Varian one-hands. The one-hander Varian you can get away with too, kind of like the Butcher, but the two-hand you can get away with. The one-hands, you should just play anything else in the game. Same with Samuro. He's just global pressure. Same, like, global pressure. Zagara is the same way. They don't do anything in a team fight. You're never going to win a team fight with these heroes. Right, I think that's the big deal, right? Whereas Tyrande, maybe I'm being hard on Tyrande. Maybe we need to do something like this instead. Yeah, I think that's probably about right. Yeah, and I think that all looks really good now. I think this is probably where I'd put everyone at on this patch. Yeah, so this is my tier list. It is now up to date. I'm going to create another video that it'll be the next video that I upload after this one that will talk about these tier 1s and tier S's and what maps you want to take them on and why you take them. It should give you guys some insight on drafting and should help a lot of people when they're trying to decide which picks they should be taking. But this is it for the tier list. Remember, you guys, you can always click on these links and these link you to my YouTube videos. So my build videos for these heroes can be found here. But that's it. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to throw a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I apologize if this video went a little bit long. I try to, tighten up times on these videos, but this one in particular is me going through my entire tier list, and I don't do them as often. So hopefully you guys like hearing the insight on why tip heroes are picked. If you guys have any ideas or suggestions on how to make this shorter, let me know in the comment section below. Other than like, oh, well, write about all the heroes before you talk. That's kind of hard to do. There's a lot of heroes. So I'd rather just, as I see them, talk about them rather than write it all down and then update. Sometimes I even want to just talk about the heroes that change. Okay, how about this? So let me know if you guys think I should just, from here on out, talk about the heroes that have changed. Okay, so we move the heroes that are getting updated. And then with that movement, we then move the heroes that move down because of those heroes moving up, right? So maybe that's what I'll do. You guys let me know in the comments. Should I start doing it that way? Talk about the heroes that got changed, where their placement within the tier list is, and then who gets knocked down because of that. Maybe that's what I'll start doing instead. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all next time. Cheers.